Hi friends, welcome to Bodhanapu Meena's channel. In this video, we are going to discuss regarding the model question paper of Skill Pro 2, that is Communication and Soft Skills Paper 2 for degree second year students, which will come under their third semester or in their third semester held under SV University. So the paper is for 2 hours and the maximum marks is 50. And this Skill Pro 2 is a bit different from Skill Pro 1. In Skill Pro 1, where you can find the questions both in the form of objective type as well as in theory part. But here you have to answer the questions given in the theory form only. So the model question paper consists of 2 sections, Section A and Section B. And Section A will be for 15 marks and Section B will be for 35 marks. Section A is short answer type and Section B is of essay type. So in the Section A, you will be given 10 questions and you have to answer any 5 among the given 10 questions. And each question will carry 3 marks. So 5 into 3, 15 marks. And Section B, there will be again 5 Romans under Section B, and each Roman will consist of 2 questions. And if you answer any one between those 2 questions is enough. And each question will carry 7 marks. So let us see the questions in the model question paper. Section A, answer any 5 of the following questions. First one, write about consonant sounds. Second one, draw any diagram of organs of speech. Third one, write about passive articulators. Fourth one, write about tree diagram with examples. Fifth one, report the silent letters of the following. A, could, B, our, C, whom, D, walk, E, smart, F, cough. Sixth one, write a note on syllables. Seventh one, what are fricatives? Give examples. Eighth one, what is intonation? Write types of intonation. Ninth one, what are presentation skills? When do we use presentation skills? 10th one, make the stress of the following words. A, identity. B, begin. C, itself. D, confirmation. E, today. F, allowed. So among these given 10 questions, if you answer any 5, you'll get 15 marks. Next is Section B. Answer the following questions. So there will be 5 Romans here and each Roman consists of 2 questions. You can write either A or B, or you can answer either A or B. Let us see the questions in detail here. 11th one. A, write about consonant sounds with example, or even you can select B, or even you can answer B. Write about consonant clusters with examples. 12th, A, what is intonation? Write types of intonations, or write about punctuation marks. 13th, A, write instructions how to use a mobile phone, or B, what is SWOT analysis? Or SWOT analysis, explain with your own examples. 14th, A, write the methods of developing presentation skills, or you can answer explain debate and write stages of debate. 15th, A, prepare a flow chart sending an email, or draw a tree diagram for the following text. There are 3 types of geometrical figures. They are circle, triangle, and quadrilateral. Equilateral, isosceles, and scalene are the triangle forms that are used. The circle has no such subforms. Quadrilateral can be represented by square, rectangle, rhombus, and parallelogram. So if you just draw the tree diagram, you'll get 7 marks easily. So this is regarding the model questions and model question paper. And let us see the syllabus of Skill Pro 2. So in your Skill Pro 2, you are having 5 units and you'll get nearly more than 10 marks when compared to other units in your first unit, that is Introduction to Phonetics, Consonants and Vowels. So Unit 1, Pronunciation 1, which includes Introduction to Phonetics, Consonants and Vowels. Unit 2, Pronunciations 2, Syllable, Word Stress, Accent and Rhythm in Connected Speech and Intonation. Unit 3, Speaking Skills 1, which includes conversation skills, that is including language functions, greetings and introductions, asking for or giving information and permissions, giving instructions and directions, and it also includes interview skills, presentation skills, and public speaking. And Unit 4 is Speaking Skills 2, role play, debate, group discussion. Unit 5, Writing Skills, which includes spelling, punctuation, information transfer, tables, bar diagrams, line graphs, pie diagrams, flow charts, tree diagrams, and pictures. So in the model question paper, you have seen they have given regarding the flow charts and tree diagrams. And they have asked regarding the debate. And even they have focused on presentation skills, syllable, word stress, and intonation they have given. And if you see the model question paper, more questions are from pronunciation 1, that is Unit 1. If we go back to the model question paper, you have got consonant sounds. This is from first unit. And even write about consonant sounds in your short answer. Organs of speech, it also from the first unit itself. Yeah, passive articulators, it is from first unit only. And fricatives, it is also from first unit. So 1, 2, 3, 4 short answer type. Nearly 12 marks you will get from this. If they have given the same pattern for your final exam, you will get nearly 3 to 4 short answer type from your first unit and 1 long answer question from first unit. So you can get more than 10 to 15 marks from your first unit if you concentrate on your first unit. So I have given an elaborate notes on the first unit. So that is pronunciation 1, phonetics. So what are the benefits of knowing the signs and symbols of English language? Or write the importance of phonetics or importance of phonetics transcription. So if they have asked, what are the benefits of knowing signs and symbols of English language? Or if they ask, write the importance of phonetics or importance of phonetic transcription, you have to write the same answer. So each language has a system of its own, and in foreign language learning, the learner tends to hear and speak on the basis of the system of his own language, which creates trouble in learning of that language. So it becomes essential for us to study the signs of English language and also acquire to the proper manner in which the sound should be pronounced. Moreover, it becomes essential with the reason that in English, the correspondence between the written form and the spoken form is not consistently maintained. Example, a single vowel, A, is differently pronounced in different words, such as man, and in car. So if you take man, M-A-N, the spelling right, but here A is giving a different vowel sound, yeah, man, right? And car, it is giving A sound. So here, yeah sound, and here A sound. So because of this, if you know the phonetics, we know how to pronounce the words. So that is the main importance of phonetics, so that we'll not get confused while you are pronouncing the words. And what is phonetics? Phonetics is a systematic and scientific study of speech sounds. And what are the advantages of phonetics? It helps in identifying and pronouncing the sounds and symbols that are used to show the sounds. Helps in understanding pronunciation. Helps the learner with the pronunciation of sounds or words by showing them in uniform symbols that are internationally accepted and used. So what are the advantages of phonetics? It helps in identifying and pronouncing the sounds and symbols. Helps in understanding the pronunciation. Helps the learner with the pronunciation of sounds and words by showing uniform symbols which are internationally accepted. Then third one, list the organs of speech and draw the label diagram of organs of speech. So the air we breathe in and breathe out is shaped into speech sounds by various organs in the mouth, throat, and lungs. As they are used for the function of speech, they are called as speech organs. So when we inhale and exhale the air, so there will be some sounds are produced. Okay, so the organs that help in the production of these sounds are called as speech organs or organs of speech. So the organs that help in speech production are the lips, teeth, alveolar ridge, tip of the tongue, middle of the tongue, front of the tongue, back of the tongue, root of the tongue, vocal cord, esophagus, epiglottis, pharynx, uvula, soft palate, and hard palate. And I have given the diagram also here for your better understanding. So this is this part is uvula. Which is uvula? This is the one here. I'll just mark, change the color. So this is called as uvula. And next is palate. So the roof of the mouth is called as palate. So this is palate. Even you can touch your palate with your tongue. Okay, this is called as palate. And this is the teeth ridge. Teeth ridge. The front part of your mouth, just above or just back of your upper teeth, is called as teeth ridge. And this one is back of the tongue. The tongue is again divided into tip of the tongue, front of the tongue, back of the tongue. Okay, center of the tongue or middle of the tongue. Okay, this is back of the tongue. And these two are called as vocal folds. So these two are vocal folds, which is there in the blue color. These are called as vocal folds. Okay, and this is this is epiglottis. This is epiglottis. Okay, and the circular thing is called as glottis. This is glottis. The circle is there, na? That is called as glottis. And these two Yeah, these are called as larynx. So larynx is also called as voice box, which consists of vocal cords. Okay, and this is called as tongue blade. This is called as blade of the tongue, and this is called as tip of the tongue. This is tip of the tongue, and these two white things are called as teeth. So these are teeth, and these two are lips. So these two are lips, and this is nose. Okay, this is the way to the nose, and this is called as nasal cavity, and this is called as oral cavity. The space inside the mouth is called as oral cavity, and the space in the nose is called as nasal cavity. Okay, so if they ask you to draw the diagram and list the organs of speech, you have to write this question. And we have seen they have asked in your model question paper the same thing, right? Next, the fourth one is, what is articulatory system? Explain in detail regarding organs of articulatory system. So before knowing regarding the articulatory system, we should know what are articulators. Articulators are the parts or organs that are involved in shaping the air into speech sounds. So as we have seen that air we breathe in and breathe out is shaped into speech sounds. So the organs that are involved in shaping these speech sounds are called as articulators. And we use organs in our mouth and throat to shape, to utter, or to articulate sounds. So they are part of articulatory system. So the organs of articulatory system are lips, tongue, roof of the mouth, lower lip, upper lip, different parts of the tongue such as blade of the tongue, front, center, and back of the tongue, teeth, teeth ridge, and soft palate are involved in shaping the air into speech sounds. Then coming to the types of articulators. The articulators are divided into active articulators and passive articulators with relation to their movement. So active articulators are organs which are capable of moving towards the other organs which are stationary. So the organs which are capable of moving towards the other organs which are not able to move or which are at rest are called as active articulators. So the example for this are lower lip, tip or blade of the tongue, front, center, and back of the tongue are examples of active articulators. Then passive articulators. Organs in the mouth, generally those are stationary without any movement are called as passive articulators. So here the organs which are stationary means which cannot move towards the other organs are called as passive articulators. The examples of these passive articulators are organs in the mouth like upper lip, upper teeth, alveolar or teeth ridge, hard and soft palates are examples of passive articulators. But here, upper lip, you can say that you can move your upper lip, right? And soft palate is also capable of moving, but they remain stationary in shaping the sounds. So we are speaking regarding the production of sounds, right? So in shaping these sounds, they remain stationary, they won't move. So these are also a part of passive articulators because passive articulators are the organs which do not move towards the other organs, right? Okay, coming to the next question. What is voice? Explain regarding voiced and voiceless sounds. Voice. organs in the throat such as vocal cords and the gap between them to help us in uttering sounds, lending them quality of vibration, which is called as voice. So the space between the vocal cords and the vibration of the vocal cords decides the quality of speech, that is called as voice. So even based on the voice, the sounds are again classified into voiced sounds and voiceless sounds. So what is voiced sounds? When the vocal cords are close to each other with a narrow gap between them, they vibrate and the sounds uttered in this state are called voiced sounds. So the sounds that are produced with the vibration of vocal cords are called as voiced sounds. And voiceless sounds are when the vocal cords are wide apart from each other, there is no vibration and the sounds uttered in such a state are called voiceless sounds. So when vocal cords are away from each other, then there will be no vibration of vocal cords. So the sounds uttered are called as voiceless. So without vibration, if the sounds are produced, then they are called as voiceless sounds. And if the sounds are produced with the vibration of vocal cords, then they are called as voiced sounds. And here I have given a chart for simply understanding. So this is regarding lesson 1. The expected questions will be those which we discussed before. And now let us see lesson 2. And in this, consonant sounds. So how are consonant sounds produced? So actually the phonetics consists of consonants and vowels. Consonants are 21 in number and vowels are 5 in number. And these consonant letters will produce 24 sounds and the vowel 5 vowels will produce 12 sounds. So totally 24 plus 12, 44 sounds are there in English language. So here we are going to see regarding the consonant sounds, these 24 sounds. And what is the classification of consonant sounds based on their production of speech. First one, how are consonant sounds produced? Where various organs of the mouth shape the air that we breathe in and breathe out into speech sounds. Consonants are made by 2 organs in the mouth such as lips and tongue or tongue and teeth. When consonant sounds are produced, organs in the mouth are either very narrowly close to each other or touch each other. So this is how the consonant sounds are produced. So the organs involved in consonant sound production is either lips and tongue or tongue and teeth. And these consonant sounds are produced when the organs in the mouth are very close to each other or touch each other. So what is characteristic feature of consonant sounds during the production of sound? The characteristic feature of consonant sound is during the production, there is either an obstruction in the mouth or the organs come close to each other so that the sounds produced are noisy. Along with the organs in the mouth, the position of vocal cords, the position of the soft palate, and the way the air is shaped into the sound and is later released decide the nature and sound quality of the consonants. The another characteristic feature is the position of the organs like vocal cords, soft palate, and how the air is shaped into the sound and later released decides the nature of quality of sound produced by the consonants. The third one is write a short note on consonant sounds with examples. Consonant sounds are characterized or categorized into 6 types. They are as follows: plosives. These are also called as oral occlusives or stops. Second one, affricates. Third one, fricates. Fourth one, nasals. Fifth one, laterals. Sixth one, semivowels or approximants or frictionless sounds. So let us see one by one in detail. Plosives or occlusives or stops. Why the name plosives or occlusives? or stop scheme, because these are produced by complete closure of oral passage. So complete closure of the mouth. Okay, and then later the release of air, it will be like an explosion of bomb. Okay, the air that comes out of the mouth will be like a tuft of air, like a explosion. So the name plosives came for this type. The examples are P, T, K, D, B, G, B, D, P, T, K. So these sounds are examples of plosives. These are also called as oral occlusives because these sounds are produced by complete closure of oral passage. The next type is affricates. These sounds are produced by complete closure in the mouth and the soft palate is raised. Ch, ch. So these are the two sounds which come under affricates. So plosives, 6 sounds. P, T, G, D, K. Okay, so 6 sounds are in plosives, 2 sounds ch and j are in affricates. Church, judge. Okay, ch sound and ch sound. So these are the examples of affricates. Then fricates. During the production of fricates, there is a narrow gap in the mouth, so the air passes noisily, causing friction. So these sounds are produced because of friction, so the name fricates. F, sh, s, v, z, d, sh. So these are the sounds that are examples of these fricates. F, sound in father, sh sound in fish, sound in think, sound in say, hot, ha, sound in hot, v, wine, z, zoo, the, sorry, the, this, j, measure. So these are the sounds which come under fricates. These are called as fricates because they're produced because of friction. Next is nasals. As the air passes through the nose, nasals are produced like M, M, N and ing sounds. Man, N, name. Okay, ing, sing. So these are voiced because voice sounds here vibrations are observed in the vocal cords. So if the vibration is produced in the vocal cords, then those sounds are called as voiced sounds, as we discussed earlier. 6th is lateral. Sorry, 5th one is lateral. Lateral is produced when there is a partial closure somewhere in the mouth. In laters, the tip of the tongue is in tight contact with the alveolar ridge, while the sides of the tongue are lowered, forming wide passages. The air escapes from the sides of the tongue. Okay, when the tip of the tongue touches the alveolar ridge or the teeth ridge, there will be a gap in the sides of the tongue where the sound escapes from the where the air escapes from the sides. So as the air is escaping from the sides of the tongue, it is called as laterals. Okay, so the only a single sound is produced in lateral, that is L sound, land. And the next type is approximants or frictionless consonants or semivowels. These sounds are produced when the articulators are close to each other without any friction and touching. So these sounds are produced without any friction. So such kind of sounds are called as frictionless sounds. As there is no friction while producing these sounds, these are also called as frictionless sounds. Okay, J sound, that is jiang. R sound, ring. Okay, W sound, in win. Okay. So let us see a brief classification of consonants here in the form of a chart. So the consonants are categorized into 6 types based on the production of the sound. Plosives are 6 in number, affricates 2, fricates 9, nasals 3, laterals 1, approximants or semivowels 3. Okay, these are the examples of these 24 sounds. Okay, consonants, plosives, affricates, fricates, nasals, laterals, approximants. In the model question paper, they have given regarding the classification of fricates in your short answer and long answer regarding the classification of consonant sounds. Okay, let us see the next one. Lesson 3, vowel sounds. So vowel sounds, these are also called as, these are again grouped as pure vowel sounds or monophthongs or glides, sorry. Vowel sounds are again classified into monophthongs and diphthongs. Monophthongs are also called as pure vowel sounds and diphthongs are also called as glides. Okay, the vowel sounds are 12. So 5 vowel sounds will produce 12 sounds. How the vowel sounds are produced? Let us see. Vowel sounds are produced with no obstruction or narrowing of the mouth. So in contrast with the consonant sounds are produced with obstruction or narrowing of the mouth, right? So here in the vowel sounds, mouth is wide open enough to let the air pass freely and continuously without any friction. Second question, differentiate between vowel sounds and consonant sounds. Consonant sounds and vowel sounds. Consonant sounds are produced with an obstruction or narrowing of the mouth. Vowel sounds are produced with no obstruction or narrowing of the mouth. Consonants are not needed in the formation of the word, but vowels are compulsory needed in the formation of the word. Okay, describe the classification of pure vowel sounds or monophthongs. So pure vowel sounds or monophthongs are again divided into short vowel sounds and long vowel sounds. So this is called as a schwa. This is called as a schwa sound. This is common and this is unstressed. Okay, E, O, O. So these are the sounds which are short vowel sounds. These are 7 short vowel sounds because we didn't, elaborate or elongate these sounds. But here long vowel sounds are represented with the help of this symbol. It means that we have to, say for some prolonged time. E, O, U, So these are the 5 long vowel sounds. And even based on the shape of the mouth, the pure vowel sounds are divided into rounded vowels and unrounded vowels. Okay, so here rounded vowels are where the lips are rounded when we say some sounds. So when the lips are rounded, well, we are saying those vowels those vowels are called as rounded vowels, like O, U, O, so O and U. So while we are producing these sounds, okay, if you observe in front of a mirror, while you are producing these sounds, your lips will be rounded while we are producing these sounds like O, O, U, U. So while we are producing these sounds, our lips will be rounded. So hence the lips are rounded. These vowels are called as rounded vowels. While we are pronouncing or uttering these vowels, when the lips are not shaped into rounded form, then these are called as unrounded vowels. Okay, these are the examples of unrounded vowels. And even based on the place where the vowels are produced in the mouth, they are again divided into three types: front vowels, central vowels, and back vowels. So if the vowels are produced in the front of the mouth, then these are called as front vowels. The examples are A, yeah, okay, E, and E. These are the examples of front vowels. And central vowels, these are called as central vowels as these sounds are produced in the center of the mouth or middle of the mouth, as the name suggests. Okay, then back vowels. As these sounds are produced at the back of the mouth, these are called as back vowels. O, U, O, O, U, and ah. So these sounds are called as back vowels because these sounds are produced at the back of the mouth. So based on the sound, actually the pure vowels are classified based on the rounding of the lips, rounded vowels and unrounded vowels, based on the production of sounds where they are producing, either it is in the front, either it is the middle of the mouth, or whether it is in the back of the mouth. So based on that, again, these are divided into front vowels, central vowels, and back vowels. And based on the period of pronunciation, they are again divided into short vowels and long vowels. So totally, yeah, 12 monophthongs are there. So vowel sounds are 20 in number. So 5 vowels will produce, or 5 letters of vowels will produce 20 sounds, among which 12 are monophthongs and 8 are diphthongs. Diphthongs, as the name itself it suggests, di means 2 sounds. Okay, so the sound will be changing from one vowel sound to another vowel sound. So these are also called as vowel glides. There are 8 diphthongs in English. So how the diphthongs or vowel glides are produced? During the production of diphthongs, the tongue position starts from one vowel point and moves to another vowel point. As the tongue slides from one vowel point to another vowel point, these are called as vowel glides. Hence, diphthong consists of 2 vowel sounds but a single sound. Even though it is producing 2 single sounds, 2 vowel sounds, but it is a single unit. So explain the classification of diphthongs. So diphthongs are classified into glides ending in I, glides ending in, E sound, glides ending in a sound, glides ending in O sound. Okay, so based on that, glides ending in E sound consists of 3. I, A, and O, glides ending in a sound, ear, okay, A, ear, and O, glides ending in U, O, and O. Okay, then diphthongs. Here I have given this in the form of chart. Just go through this. So diphthongs are divided into centering and closing. Centering includes ending in schwa sound, and closing includes ending in e sound and ending in a sound. Sorry, ending in u sound. It's not a, it's u sound. Okay. Then let us summarize the entire phonetics here. Phonetics is nothing but scientific study of sounds. So we are having 26 letters in English, and these 26 letters will produce 44 sounds. And in that 26, 21 are called as consonants, 21 letters are called as consonants, and these 21 letters will produce 24 sounds. And 5 letters are called as vowels, A, E, I, O, U, and these 5 letters will produce 20 sounds. And these 24 sounds are again classified into plosives, affricates, fricates, nasals, laterals, and semivowels. And these 20 sounds in English language are again classified into pure vowel sounds or monophthongs, which are 12 in number, and diphthongs or glides, which are 8 in number. Again, these pure vowels are again classified into short vowel sounds and long vowel sounds, rounded vowels and unrounded vowels, central vowels, front vowels, and back vowels. And these diphthongs are again divided into vowels ending with E sound, vowels ending with schwa, vowels ending with U sound. Okay, so prepare well for your exam and score well based on this video, friends. Thank you for watching.